Part 12. You're my world. 2 weeks went by. Wei Wuxian was getting stronger with every passing day. When he was able to stay awake all day, Wangji knew it was time to act. Let's talk, Wangji said after clearing the morning meal from the table. Wei Wuxian sat down. What are we talking about? Us, Wangji said, pulling out sheaves of paper and handing a thick swath of paper to Wei Wuxian. What's this? My notes. Wangji told him. This is your copy. He had made 3 copies. One for himself, one for Wei Wuxian, and one master copy. Wangji started telling Wei Wuxian everything that had happened to him. He looks exactly like me? Wei Wuxian gasped. Wangji nodded. Looks like you, but isn't you, he said, trying to reassure Wei Wuxian. Wei Wuxian looked at him suspiciously. Did you? He looks exactly like me. Were you? Never? Wangji said vehemently. You must have thought about it. Wei Wuxian pouted. Never. Wangji insisted. Wei Wuxian still looked suspicious. Do you think I love you just because of how you look? I don't know. Why do you love me? There's a list, pages 18 and 19. Xiao Zhan had suggested Wangji make a list of everything he loved about Wei Wuxian, suggesting it might help him figure things out. Wangji had spent a week making the list. Wei Wuxian quickly found the list and started reading. All this? He looked at Wangji with astonishment. He knew when they got married that Wangji loved him. This was more than he ever imagined. Zhan, this is too much. I'm not this good. I'm really not. I mess up so much. Growing up, his adoptive mother had blamed him for everything that ever went wrong, and Wei Wuxian had accepted the accusations and the punishments that came along with them without a second thought. After all, he was just a starving orphan they had taken in. He was the disruptive element of the household. Later, when he saved a few remnants of the Qishanwen clan and was framed for multiple murders, he did the same thing. His adoptive mother had trained him to accept being the scapegoat. He never tried to fight the accusations in his first life. You are that good, Wangji insisted. He slid over and put his arms around Wei Wuxian. You are my world, he whispered. No one could ever replace you. To hide his embarrassment, Wei Wuxian asked, so, what happened next? Lan Wangji continued to tell his story. When he got to the part where they were characters in a drama, Wei Wuxian exploded with rage. He didn't care that people thought he was fictional. He was angry that someone created a story where so many innocent people died. He couldn't understand why Lan Wangji wasn't angrier about it. Lan Wangji was angry when he first found out about it. He kept thinking of his mother dying when he was 6, the Lan clan members who had died when they were invaded by the Wens, and of everything Wei Wuxian went through. Eventually he accepted it as something he couldn't change. I don't think they meant to be cruel. They didn't know it was real, Lan Wangji explained. Did we come into existence because that person created the story? Or did that person connect with our world and tell our story without realizing it was a vision of things that happened? Or was it something he couldn't even grasp? Lan Wangji had spent many hours pondering this question after learning that in Xiao Zhan's world, he really was a fictional character. After their midday meal, Wei Wuxian needed a nap. Lan Wangji stayed with him, absent-mindedly detangling his hair and trying to figure out how to get into the secret library to find the scroll. As a former Grand Master, he knew how to get in. But without his headband, there was no way to do it. The only people who could help him were his uncle, his brother, or Sizhui. He quickly decided that Sizhui was the best one to ask. Sizhui revered him and was least likely to ask questions. At this point, Lan Wangji didn't want to tell anyone what he was up to in case it didn't work. He would have to tell Wei Wuxian at some point, but it was too soon. He didn't want to get Wei Wuxian's hopes up until he was confident it would work. When Lan Wangji heard Sizhui approach with their evening meal, he went to the door to greet him. Jun, Sizhui's face lit up. I'm so happy to see you. Sizhui smiled enthusiastically. Come in, Lan Wangji said. You are looking well. Being Grand Master seems to suit you. Sizhui put the tray on the table, dropped to his knees and bowed. Father, thank you for raising me and for teaching me everything I know. You are the reason for my success. Lan Wangji was stunned. Not just at the unexpected filial gesture, but that Sizhui had called him father. Sizhui had always called him Jun. It is my honor to have such a good son, Lan Wangji replied, trying to hide how moved he was. I was wondering if you could let me into the secret library. There are some remedies I want to look up there, and without my headband I can't open the door myself. Of course, when would you like to go? Sizhui asked without hesitation. Lan Wangji set up a time to go later that evening. He wanted to go at night so he wouldn't run into his brother or uncle and have to answer a lot of questions. Sizhui just smiled. Hongguang Jun, everyone is anxious to meet you. It's my daughter's birthday in 2 weeks. I was wondering if you and Senior Wei would join us. Sizhui was blushing. You're married? 10 years now, Sizhui blushed again. Happily married it seems. Did you know her when you saw her? Sizhui went beet red. I did. It was at Zhu Jun's engagement. Zhu Jun is married? We had a double wedding. Perhaps Zhu Jun never had a chance to tell you. Sizhui was getting redder and redder, but he was grinning from ear to ear. Lan Wangji was delighted to see him so happy. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, Lan Wangji said. Sizhui turned to leave, then stopped, spun around, and threw his arms around Lan Wangji. I missed you so much, he said. Lan Wangji was even more moved by this display of affection. He remembered when Sizhui recognized Wei Wuxian as the man who had helped raise him before he was adopted by the Lan clan. Sizhui had thrown his arms around Wei Wuxian exactly the same way. Lan Wangji never expected Sizhui to show the same emotions for him. He looked up and saw Wei Wuxian standing there smiling. Then Wei Wuxian walked over and put his arms around both of them. My wife is waiting for me, Sizhui said after a minute and rushed out the door. Saving him and marrying you are the best things I ever did, Wei Wuxian said. Same, Lan Wangji said. Let's eat. I'm going to the library tonight to look for a remedy. It wasn't a lie. Leaving me alone, Wei Wuxian pouted. I'll stay with you until you fall asleep, Lan Wangji promised. Sizhui and Lan Wangji arrived at the library at the same time. I'll make sure no one disturbs you, Sizhui said when they were in the secret library. If you need to return another day, let me know. Lan Wangji looked at him. Sizhui had full faith in him. He wished he had the same amount of faith in himself. Sizhui left, and Lan Wangji looked around. The monk had told him how to find the scroll, but that the scroll was charmed and could only be seen by those the scroll chose to reveal itself to. Those it deemed worthy would look first. Suddenly he noticed a scroll on the floor where Sizhui had been standing. That was it. Lan Wangji picked it up. The Ultimate Bond, written by Lan Cheng. There were several scrolls in the secret library that had been written by Lan Cheng, the son of the founder of the Lan clan. Like the others, it was very old, written on wooden slats. Lan Wangji could sense it had multiple charms on it, and some of the charms were there to hide other charms. There were layers upon layers of charms on it. Even though Sizhui had said he would ensure no one disturbed him, Lan Wangji decided to pull out a few herbal medicine scrolls in case Suwu Jun or his uncle came in. That would give him an easy explanation for why he was there. The scroll wasn't long, but it was daunting. Rolled up with the scroll was a sheet of paper someone had put in with it at a much later date. It wasn't there the last time he saw the scroll over 40 years ago. The paper described how Lan Cheng and his wife Su Yu were murdered by the son of the man she had originally been betrothed to. They were cursed to not be able to find each other for 1,000 years. Why was it put there? And by whom? It doesn't matter now, Lan Wangji thought to himself. He sat down at a desk and started copying the information on the scroll. When he was done, he quickly left. Sizhui had left his mark on both the secret library inner entrance and the main library entrance. He meant it when he said no one would disturb him, Lan Wangji thought gratefully. Even his uncle wouldn't disrespect the Grand Master's mark that indicated he was not to be disturbed. Sizhui got up at dawn and headed to the library to see if Hanguang Jun needed his assistance. The library was empty. He removed his mark from the doors as he entered each room. Inside the secret library, he saw the scroll Lan Wangji had left out, knowing that the scroll would hide itself. Sizhui felt drawn to the scroll. The closer he got, the more he felt drawn in.